Jai Hind and welcome everyone on the 10th day of the 10 days skill development program on food and beverage service. My name is Vinay Punia and I am assistant professor at Bikaji Kama Subharti College of Hotel Management and I will be the moderator for today's session. Today we will begin with an online guest lecture on tequila. Moving forward, for today's topic tequila, we have eminent speaker Mr. Kunal Kaul. Mr. Kaul is an energetic F&B personnel with experience of more than 19 years. He has completed his graduation program from IHM Ahmedabad. He worked in France with the Accor, Hilton, Pedersen, and Thistle Hotel in the UK. Then he back to India and started working with manager with ASCA, that is American IIHM Jaipur. He also worked as a COO and principal mentor of Ravi Sharma Hospitality Academy. And he is the founder of Great Expectation Delhi. His vast knowledge and experience will definitely help us to learn tequila. Let me call Mr. Now, without further ado, let me turn on our speaker, Mr. Kunal. Sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Punya and everybody else. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity today. As I have been introduced already with a very long, introduction. Thank you very much for that, first of all. I'm just a humble, simple professional who's been in the industry for a bit, knows a little bit more than others, and I'm here to share that knowledge with you. As I was introduced, I'm just going to quickly tell you in 5 seconds. Currently, I am the founder and the owner of a training, beverage training academy, which is called Grape Expectations. We are WSET, which is Wine and Spirit Educational Trust, approved program providers. We conduct level 1 in wines and level 2 in wines. And we also conduct level 1 in spirits and level 2 in spirits. We are also India's only certified sake, which is a Japanese beverage, you must know, approved center from Sake Sommelier Association, which is India's only approved center for certified sake courses. And we are also providers of whiskey courses from the reputed Scottish Whiskey Ambassador program. Today, we will talk a little bit about tequila, what tequila is. It's going to be a basic session about what tequila is, what are different kinds of tequila, what in a bottle can be called a tequila and what cannot be called a tequila, what's tequila made up of, what are the raw materials, what are the aging, how they're processed, etc., etc., etc. So looking to have an interesting topic, interesting session with you guys. Without any further delay, but first of all, I just want to quickly let you know that the presentation has been is courtesy of the International Tequila Academy, Mexico. So they have provided this presentation for you guys today. So thank you for that, International Tequila Academy. And it comes right from the heart of Mexico, this presentation that I'm going to share with you now. So, Mr. Punya, yeah, thank you so much. So there we go. We're going to start our tequila session. The first thing that you need to know is, one second. The first thing that you need to know is to where does the tequila come from? So tequila is a beverage that is native to Mexico. Mexico is a country in North America, just below the United States of America, and tequila can only be made in Mexico. And in fact, we're going to go through where exactly it's made where exactly it's made in Mexico itself. There are certain places which are permitted for the production of tequila. Not every region or every city or every place can produce tequila in Mexico as well. So that's a little bit about the basics of, sorry, the place where tequila can be made. Secondly, as you can see on the screen, there has to be a particular trademark on the bottle of tequila. It has to be called a tequila. It cannot be called cactus. It cannot be called sombrero. It cannot be called Mexico. It cannot be called agave. It has to be called tequila for it to be certified as a bottle of tequila in the market. Okay, there are a lot of and this doesn't happen much in countries like India, but of course in the States and in other parts of Mexico, there are a lot of, sometimes, not a lot, sometimes there are a lot of cheap alternatives which are not actually tequilas and are given certain names that resemble tequila, like taplila or something like that. So you have to name it as tequila, and there's an international board of local regulatory council of tequila that has to approve every single bottle and has to check that the name of the bottle is certified as tequila. Then only it can be exported out in the market. It can be sent out in the market to the retail shops and for the consumers. I will give you a quick trivia here. So the Regulatory Council of Tequila is a very strong body, and their job is to make sure that the product tequila is always kept at a very high standard, and there is no room for hanky panky. Nobody can substitute it. Nobody can copy it. So you must have heard of a very famous entrepreneur, very famous businessman. His name is Elon Musk, who's the founder of PayPal, and now the founder of SpaceX, and now the founder of Tesla as well. So some time ago, he wanted to get into tequila because a lot of celebrities are in tequila as well. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has his own brand. George Clooney, the actor, famous Hollywood actor, has his own brand. He's now sold that brand to Diageo. And thus Elon Musk also wanted to get into. So he wanted to name his tequila as Teslaquila because of Tesla, the very famous car, Tesla. So he wanted to name it as Teslaquila, but when this went for a request to the Regulatory Council of Tequila, they denied it because it has to be called tequila and nothing else for it to be certified as a tequila. So if you see a bottle of so-called tequila in the market, whether in India or anywhere else, which says weird names like cactus or sombrero or Mexico or anything else, but not tequila, chances are that it is not actually an original tequila. So you should stay away from that. Moving on, the next thing that I want to quickly discuss with you, and this is very important, is the origin of tequila and why tequila can only come from Mexico and not from anywhere else. So there are certain things in the world which are called the geographical indications, and these geographical indications refer to wines, refer to certain food items, refer to certain spirits as well, refer to some goods as well, which really actually means is that the region of that particular region is the region that is recognized and promoted as the region that is certified for production of that food item or beverage item. For example, champagne is a protected name. Okay, it's a geographical indication. That means champagne can only be produced in the Champagne area of France. Okay, if I want to produce a sparkling wine called champagne with the same grapes, with the same process, with the same procedure, and I want to do it in India or anywhere else in the world apart from the region of Champagne, I cannot name it champagne. Okay, So similar other example is a cognac, which is in your on your screen right here. Cognac is a very famous brandy that comes from only the Cognac region, a very small Cognac region on the western side of France. um, it can only come from that region. So the grapes are grown in that region, the production happens in that region, the distillation happens in that region, the aging happens in that region. All of it happens in Cognac itself, and then only this brandy is known as Cognac. So that is also a geographical indication. So is a Scotch whiskey. I cannot make a Scotch whiskey in India. It can only be called whiskey. It cannot be called Scotch whiskey. So for Scotch whiskey to be made, to be called a Scotch whiskey, has to be in Scotland and certain sub-regions of Scotland. So these are all geographical indications, protected names. Okay, these are traditions that have happened over a period of very, very long time. Same is the case with tequila. I cannot make tequila in India. I cannot make tequila in Australia. I cannot make tequila any place outside the the city of Tequila, and the surrounding areas of Tequila. We're not going to go into exactly which regions are permitted for production of tequila, but for now, at this level, you only need to remember that it is in and around the town of Tequila. That is where the tradition of tequila production happened, and that is where it happens to be the hub of production of tequila. So tequila, just like cognac, is also a beverage and also a city. Okay, tequila, just as champagne, is also a region and also a drink. So this is something that you really need to remember, not just for tequila, for other important beverages also around the world. So tequila can only come from Mexico, and in Mexico it can only come from in and around the town of Tequila. There's some regions that produce tequila, which we're not going to go through at this point of time, but geographically protected name tequila. In India, if I want to make tequila and I use the same production, the same raw materials, everything remains the same, I can still not call it a tequila. Okay, so that's what the difference is between a regular beverage and a tequila. Okay, next we come to the raw materials of tequila. Okay, so there's a very famous misconception that even I had when I was doing my hotel management, which is that tequila is made of cactus. um, and it is the cactus that is cut and then and then fermented and then distilled, and that's how tequila is made. As a matter of fact, that can't be farther from truth. It's not correct. Tequila is made from a plant which is very far away from cactus. As a matter of fact, in fact, if you have to think about a plant that resembles agave, which is the plant that tequila is made from, you can the closest one that you would be somewhat like aloe vera. So you have an aloe vera plant which has those spikes coming out. So that will be the most closest relative generally to agave, and it would be even close to some plants like lilies or maybe even rice or barley, but very far away from cactus. Okay, so that's one of the misconceptions of tequila. The raw material that is used in production of tequila and tequila is made from is called agave. Agave, as you can see on your screen, is a spiky plant. And this spiky plant has a very big root, which you can't see on your screen right now. So just imagine a big pineapple, the pineapple, just increase that size of pineapple by 5 times, and you get this root which is under the ground. This root is what is extracted, and that is the root that goes into the production of tequila. And we will talk how that is processed, and then how that is made into a bottle of tequila later on. But for now, just remember that agave is the plant that is used in making tequila. Now, agave in Mexico, this plant is native to Mexico, and there are many kinds of agaves in Mexico. Many kinds of agaves, many species of agaves. Just like there are different species of rice, there are different species of agave as well. So you find various species of agaves, but for a drink, for a beverage, or a spirit to be called a tequila, it needs to have a special kind of agave plant, which is called the blue Weber agave, okay, or Tequilana Weber agave. So this is one of the species of agaves that are found in Mexico. There are many species of agaves that are found in Mexico, but this is the one that is specifically used in production of tequila. So if a tequila is not made from a blue Weber agave, it is not going to be a tequila. It cannot be classified or bottled or labeled as a tequila. So blue Weber agave is the agave that goes in production of tequila. The reason that only this species of agave is favored in the production of tequila is because it doesn't take a very long time for the cultivation of this plant. It takes up to 5 or maybe 7 years for it to reach maturity, and then you can harvest it, and then you can process it, and then you can make tequila from it. On the contrary, some other species of tequila can take up to 12, even 15 years to reach maturity. So you can imagine you have to wait that long for the plant to reach maturity, and then get to start making tequila out of it. So this is a very good option because it reaches maturity very quickly, and then because of the huge amount of consumption that tequila around the world is needed, we need to have plant that reaches maturity quickly, and we can make more and more and more of tequila compared to other drinks. Also, tequila categories there are 2 different tequila categories. One tequila on the left hand side that you have is 100% agave. That means the entire raw material that goes in the production of one bottle of tequila would be coming from 100% agave sugars. On the contrary, there's another set of categories which is called tequila, only tequila, or sometimes it's called mixto. Okay, and then these are the categories wherein you can have up to 51%, which is the majority of agave, and 49%, which is the minority, other sugars. The other sugars can be from sugarcane, can be from something else, or it can be some processed other kinds of sugar as well. So that is 2 different kind of tequila categories that we have. 100% agave. Now 100% agave, because agave is an expensive commodity, it's difficult to grow, and it reaches maturity quite long compared to other raw materials like barley or grapes or these things. It takes longer, the cultivation process is longer. So any tequila that you will have 100% agave written on it will be more expensive, okay, because the raw material cost is higher for that. On the contrary, on your right hand side, any tequila which has only tequila written on it, or mixto is sometimes written, is sometimes not written, will have 51% maximum 51% agave, and the rest can be other sugars. So this is sort of a dilution of agave and other sugars, and thus this tequila is lower in price. Okay, because there you can produce more. You can almost produce double the amount of tequila with the same amount of raw material in this. So there are now many 100% agaves also available in India. 100% agave tequilas are more expensive, they're more expressive, and they're more complex tequilas. The ones that we use a lot in cocktails, or you see in shots and all of these in movies and otherwise, are generally just the tequila, which is a dilution of agave sugars and other types of sugars. Okay, so moving ahead. We now come to, I want to discuss quickly what are the various styles of tequila. Okay, the first style of tequila is Tequila Blanco. It's also called a silver tequila, or it's called plata. Blanco, of course, in Spanish means white, and silver means silver color. So these are the kind of tequilas which are unaged tequila. So once you do your fermentation, your distillation, these tequilas come out of the still, and then they are bottled straight away. There is no aging. There is nothing that goes on in the post distillation method. They can be aged 0 to 2 months depending on the producer, but generally all the Blanco tequilas that you get out in the market are unaged tequilas. Okay, they're white in color or silver in color. They don't have any color, they're just transparent, and thus because of that you get these are perfect tequilas for the production, for the use of cocktails generally. When we come to the kind of so they're the most favorite tequilas for bartenders making cocktails, for shots. So they're quite reasonably priced as well. They're not very expensive, so they can be used quite generously. As far as the flavors are concerned, bottom left hand side, you have two spectrums. On the left hand side, you've got agave flavors, and on the right hand side, you've got the oak flavors. You can see very clearly that this particular style of tequila is all green, so it has all agave flavors, and agave flavors are generally very herbal, peppery, pepperminty, spicy as well to some extent. So all green, all fresh agave flavors, no oak characteristics in this at all. And color, of course, you can see is going to be white. There is no aging, no oak, no color added, just white. Next style of tequila that is also very famous is called the Hoven Tequila, also called as oro or gold. Joven in Spanish means young, so you can imagine, as it says young, it will generally not be an aged tequila. There is not a defined aging criteria for Joven tequilas, but sometimes these Joven tequilas, if they are labeled as oro, oro is in Spanish gold, or it can simply be labeled as gold. These are called these are the ones which do not generally undergo any aging, but they are very characteristically colored. Okay, so imagine a Blanco tequila, the last one that we read. You add some color and you make it gold. Okay, so essentially you have the same tequila, but you've changed the color of that tequila. And how do you change that color? There are some caramel coloring that are added in spirit production. So you add some caramel coloring in some of the blancos, and you get a tequila which is slightly goldenish in color. The second thing that you can do is you can also add a mix of Blanco tequila and a Rapasado. Rapasado is the one that we're going to talk about next. So once you mix it, you get a golden color. But generally, these tequilas can and cannot, depending on the producer, be aged in oak. It's dependent really on the producer. As far as the flavor characteristics and aromas of this particular tequila is concerned, on the bottom left hand side, you can see your agave flavors are slightly less than last one, and you've got some oak flavors as well. So, but that really depends on whether this Hoven has been aged in oak, depending on the producer, or not been aged in oak. If it has only been added color, then you will have no oak flavors. Okay, these are again tequilas that can be used in the bar in some cocktails. Some bartenders like to use slightly darker versions of tequilas to give slight color and differentiate their cocktails from other tequila cocktails. So this is a very good option for them. So Hoven, Oro, or Gold. Next style of tequila that we are going to talk about is called Rapasado. Reposado tequila. Reposado in Spanish generally means rested. Okay, rested tequila. So that means you got a tequila which has been rested in oak barrel for some time. The minimum aging criteria for Reposado tequila is 2 months. Okay, minimum is 2 months. You can age it to up to 1 year or even longer than that. That really depends on from producer to producer. But what happens in these 2 months, or maybe longer than that, in oak, is that this tequila gains color from the wood, from the oak, and gains aromas and flavors from the wood, and does incorporate some of it in its personality. So what you get now as a Reposado tequila is a tequila which has fresh agave flavors as well as some oak flavors as well, like caramel. You get a hint of toastiness. You get a hint of spiciness. That's all coming from the oak. That's the oak influence that is being given to this tequila. So again, Reposado is aged in oak containers for minimum of 2 months, but can be longer than 2 months as well. But minimum by law is 2 months. There is, and now this is slightly golden in color, even going to slightly brownish, and of course, because they have been rested, and there's this slight increase in cost of production in these kind of tequilas, they will be slightly more expensive than your Blanco and or Hoven tequilas. So Blanco was the first one, the second one was Hoven, and the third one Reposado. We're going to go ahead now with a couple more styles of tequila. Another style of tequila is called añejo. Añejo tequila, basically añejo in Spanish means year or aged. Okay, so the minimum aging for an añejo tequila is 1 year. It has to be minimum 1 year. That means it can be longer than 1 year. It can be up to 2 years or even longer than that. But the minimum by law the producer has to keep this tequila in oak barrels for at least 1 year. And another criteria by law is that it has to be in 600-liter capacity barrels only. Okay, that is one of the criterias as well. So what happens is, these are aged longer than the last one, than the reposados. So that means the more characteristic of oak influence is there. Okay, so you get more oak flavored notes in this and less agave flavored notes. So agave is starting to turn behind the scenes and oak is starting to take over. Okay, the fresh agave flavors start to disappear, and the spiciness of the oak and the flavors of the oak, the vanilla of the oak, the caramel and the toastiness of the oak is starting to take over. As far as the color is concerned, of anejo tequila, it is darker. It is almost going towards brownish, but not quite brown, because the color is being given by the wood, by the oak, to the tequila as well. So it has that, it gets that that color from the wood as well, and not just the flavor. Next one that we're gonna go ahead, I'll tell you, is going to be, oops, sorry, my, oh yeah, there we go, is going to be extra añejo. So extra añejo is a category that has recently, not too long ago, been introduced by the Tequila Regulatory Council. Until then, it was, the last category was only añejo, but this one is extra añejo. So this category is aged for a minimum of 3 years. That means almost 3 times as more as añejo. Minimum 3 years. It can be longer than that as well. And as it ages for a very long time in oak barrels, again 600 a liter, it gains a lot of characteristics from the oak. So now you have a tequila which is very, very prominent oak notes, oak flavors, oak aromatics, very oak forward kind of a tequila. So agave, fresh agave flavors have sort of disappeared or are very, very, very subtle in there. So you can imagine it having a color and slight notes of those old Scotch single malts as well, which are really brownish or highly golden in color. So these have very prominent notes of caramel, nuts, almond, dried fruits, and some notes of agave, fresh agave flavors as well, but more very heavy oak dominated tequila. So Blanco was the first one. The second one was Hoven. The third one was Rapasado. The fourth one was Añejo. And the fifth one and the last one, the one that's aged for the longest time and is labeled as an extra Añejo. So if you get, you come across a bottle of tequila which says Añejo or Reposado or Extra Añejo or Blanco or Hoven, you now have the knowledge to understand the difference between these various categories, and also having the knowledge of knowing that why there is difference in the price of all of these, because an extra añejo will definitely be a lot more expensive than a blanco, because it has the cost of production that is involved in an extra añejo is definitely a lot more than compared to blanco. So that is the various kinds of tequilas according to the aging factors. Now, um, I will just explain these the process of the process of the production of tequila. It is not as simple as it seems in this particular slide. It is quite complicated, as a matter of fact. The first step, of course, you can see number one on your screen is the process of growing Weber agave. Um, Weber agave, of course, the cultivation process is quite high because it's only going to be in the sixth or maybe seventh or maybe eighth year of production of this plant that you will start making tequila. So up to that 7 or 8 year mark, you have to keep pumping money in and sustain that business for that long. So thus that's why the cultivation process of this particular raw material is slightly higher, not slightly, quite a bit higher than other raw materials like perhaps grapes or barley or sugarcane or other. So that cost also has to be included in the price of the bottle. Because of the production cost of this particular plant, you have a tradition of these big tequila producers in the region who buy these plants. They buy the entire blue agave once it's ready for maturity. They buy it from the local farmers, and they don't involve themselves in growing because growing is another piece of business itself. So they just concentrate on making the tequila, and the farmers just grow it for them, and they bring it to the factories, and that is where the process starts. So it sort of creates that balance that farmers are only producing and producers are only buying it from the farmers and then making the tequila. So that's the first step. The second step, as you can see here, this gentleman is cutting this plant. So these spiky plants that you see are actually, the leaves are of no use. It's the root that we actually need, because the sugars that are supposed to be fermented that we need for the production of tequila are in the root itself. And the root of this particular plant looks sort of like a pineapple. Imagine a pineapple, but maybe 5, 6, or perhaps even 8, 10 times bigger than a pineapple. And that is where all the sugar is stored in this plant. So these are dug up from the ground, and then the leaves are cut away, and only the piece of that root is left. That root is what we need, and it's called a piña. So a piña, which comes, I think, from pineapple only. So this piña is what we need. And if you see on number 2, this gentleman where he's cutting the leaves off, they are also very traditional workers in tequila production. For many years, they're very highly specialized people. They call humidors. So they get rid of these scales and these leaves, and they only keep the piña. Now, the sugars in the piñas are in the form of sucrose, fructose, inulin. These sugars have to be converted into simpler sugars, because fermentation will not happen in this particular form. It has to be broken down into simpler sugars where the yeast can act and convert these sugars easily into alcohol. So because of that, there's another step that is done, wherein these piñas are brought into the factories and they are cooked. There are generally 2 ways of cooking these piñas, number one, you can put it in brick ovens, which is the traditional method of doing so. And the second method of doing so is putting it in the steam ovens, which is bigger ovens, mass production, commercial production, wherein you can put a lot of piñas, you can process a lot of them together. So once these come out of the ovens after a few hours, they are then now they're cooked, and the sugars inside of these piñas are now converted into simpler sugars. Now we need to extract those sugars from these piñas, and generally, if you go to number 4 here, in older times there used to be a pony. You can see that pony there who used to go round and round and round and round, and it's called tahona. They used to mash these particular piñas and extract the sugars out of them. So these fibers that you can see around the piña need to be really crushed, and that's where the sugar flows out. Nowadays, of course, these ponies are not used apart from very few places. So they are generally put in extraction, where you press it and the sugar comes out from other side. Once we've got the sugar, that's what we need for tequila. We've got the agave sugar. We've processed it from number 1 to number 4. We will now start the fermentation of this particular thing. Fermentation is the process wherein a microorganism yeast, breaks down the sugars and converts it into alcohol and also carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the byproduct, so it is allowed to escape. But in turn, we get a sort of liquid, which is sort of similar to beer, at about 8-10% alcohol by volume. And then this liquid is then distilled. Distillation is a process, I'm sure that you are aware of it. Distillation is a process wherein you convert and concentrate the alcohol further. Alcohol and water have different boiling points. So taking advantage of that, distillation separates the alcohol from water and then can concentrate it. So that is how you get a solution that was 8 or 10% ABV to be probably 40 or 50% ABV, which are the spirits. So all the spirits undergo distillation. Once you've got your product after the distillation, then you have a choice. Choice lies in the aging process, just as we covered in the earlier slides. You can either simply bottle it once it has come out of distillation. Out of distillation, every single liquid or spirit that comes out of distillation is going to be a clear spirit. It has no color. Any spirit. The color comes from either adding color or it comes from aging through oak barrels. So you can either directly bottle it once it comes out of the still and label it as a Blanco tequila and sell it out in the market, or you can undergo aging process. You can make it a reposado. You can age it for 2 months, at least 2 months, or longer than that. You get a reposado, or you can make it an añejo, where you age it longer for 1 year at least, or further going on, you make it an extra añejo by aging it for even longer, for 3 years. So that's all. That all really depends on what kind of tequila are you, what style of tequila are you really interested in making, and what the producer's intention is of making. So all of these depend on the styles and commercial availability, the kind of tequila that you make. So that's the life and the process of how tequila is made. Tequila is often misinterpreted or has a bad reputation I wouldn't say bad, but not a very good reputation, because people generally relate to tequila as just tequila shots, or not something that can be savored like a cognac or wine or whiskey. But that's not true. Yes, some tequilas go very well in cocktails and as shots, because they're very neutral, and they have those fresh agave flavors, which hold true for that style of drink that you want to have. But añejo, reposado, and extra añejo vodka, tequilas are really good styles of tequila that can be savored just like maybe you savor your whiskey or cognac. And the myth, again, another myth, is that tequilas are always had with the sugar, with the salt and lime. Yes, they are had with salt and lime, to take the edge and the sharpness of some of the tequilas, especially the blanco ones. But this is more of a European tradition. Okay, if you go to Mexico, you don't generally find the Mexicans drinking tequila with lime or and salt. That's not how they do. They generally drink tequila in glass without any of these, or they enjoy the aged tequila just as like we enjoy whiskeys and all. So that's also another myth bunking or myth busting, for the tequila process. There's another quick thing that I want to quickly discuss. There's another beverage in Mexico itself, just similar to tequila. It's called a mezcal. Um, a mezcal is in a way quite similar to tequila, but on the bottle you can either have a mezcal labeled or you can have a tequila labeled. You can't have both. Okay. Now mezcal is slightly different in the way that it can use uh, agave which are not blue Weber only. Okay, it can use various types of agaves. Specific type of agave is used there as well, but we won't go into that as of now. So mezcal can use any or mix of various kinds of agaves, not blue agave, because in tequila production you can only use blue agave. Mezcal are exempted from this. The second, there is a difference in the region as well. Mezcal is produced somewhere else, not in the tequila region itself. Um, and the third very important point is that mezcal carries that smokiness that it's very famous for. Tequilas generally don't have that smokiness on the nose and on the palate. And that smokiness generally comes from cooking the piñas in underground pits using wood, and that's where the smokiness of the wood goes in the piñas and then goes into mezcal. That's where the difference between tequila and mezcal sounds. Both of them are very famous tequila drinks, Mexican drinks, and are revered around. Tequila, though, anyways, is known around the world. Even mezcal is now known around the world as well. So, if I come to India and if I start making a drink um, using agave, same process that the tequila is made from or mezcal is made from, I cannot name it as tequila. I cannot name it as mezcal. I can only name it as agave spirit. Okay, because tequila and mezcal are protected terms, legally protected geographical indications. So they can only be used in those regions, cannot be used outside. So if in India or any other place I want to make a spirit from agave, I need to label it at agave spirit, um, not as tequila or as mezcal. So that was a little bit of your knowledge of tequila. We just I want to quickly discuss this as well, just in case anybody's interested. We are actually the only providers of a tequila course in India, which is through the International Tequila Academy, which has been kind enough to give us this presentation. It's called the Search Tequila Level 1, and it's a very economical course for hotel management students. A lot of our bar tenders are doing this course. It's priced at a very reasonable 2,900 rupees, which is completely online. You'll be provided a certificate from International Tequila Academy and a badge from International Tequila Academy. And it's really helpful for people who actually want to be bartenders in future. Okay, so let me stop sharing the screen. Right. If anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to take those questions. No, agave doesn't belong to cactus family. No. There are many. There are hundreds, 200 varieties of blue agave. The agave espinada, which is used generally in production of mezcal. So it's like, how many varieties of rice are there, or how many varieties of potatoes are there, or how many varieties of onions are there? There are many varieties of agave. I'm sorry, I didn't understand what is the TSS ratio at the final position of beverage. I don't know what TSS ratio means in terms of Desperado. Desperado beer is generally flavored, not flavored. In the production of Desperado beer, you put a bit of agave. The production involves a bit of agave sugars as well. So it's not just, generally all the beers are made from barley. Most of the beers are made from barley. But if you have a slight mix or blend of some agave sugars in the fermentation, that's what it is. Any other questions anybody has?
I hope those are the. I hope, sir, those are the questions that has been asked by our students and our participants.
Yes.
So thank you, Mr. Kunal, for giving such a wonderful session on the tequila. So appreciate you being here, apart from your busy schedule. So really appreciate that.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to address your students, and I hope they've learned a little bit about tequila. It's a beverage that is slightly misunderstood by a lot of people in India and out of India as well. But there's a lot to learn about tequila, a lot to study about tequila, and thus people who want to go in this industry should know about each and every spirit, not just tequila, and about other spirits as well. So it's a constant learning process, and I hope your students enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So now, after the wonderful session by Mr. Kunal Kaul, let's us move forward towards the demonstration of tequila cocktails by Mr. Ankit.
Everyone, my name is Ankit Shrivastava. Today I will be demonstrating tequila based cocktail. What is tequila? Tequila is a alcoholic beverage which is made from fermentation and distillation of blue agave. So the first classic cocktail of tequila is Margarita. Margarita is a cocktail which has a citrus flavor which is made from tequila, going through or triple sec, which is orange flavored liqueur, lime juice, sugar syrup or simple syrup. It can be made by different methods, which is your shaken method, straight up, or blended method, and it has also a variations Like you can flavor it with any fruit, for example strawberry margarita, kiwi margarita, etc. So let's begin to make the cocktail. First of all, we'll take a margarita glass. We will rim it with salt. We'll take a shaker. We'll make it by shaken method. We'll put ice. (45 ml) of tequila. 15 ml of going through or Rapasado, whichever orange liqueur you have. 10 ml of lime juice. And 10 ml of sugar syrup. We'll shake it vigorously. And strain the drink in the glass. And we'll garnish it with a lemon slice. So this is your straight up margarita. If you put this drink in old fashioned glass with ice, that would be called on the rocks margarita. And if you blend and make it, it would be called frozen margarita. You can also flavor it with any fruits. Thank you. Cheers. To make is Tequila Sunrise. Tequila Sunrise has got tequila, orange juice, in earlier days, the Tequila Sunrise was used to make with, we used to make it with tequila, cream de cassis, which is blackcurrant flavored liqueur, lime juice, and top off with soda. But as the name suggests, it's a sunrise which should have a color of orange and a pinkish color or reddish color which is given by grenadine. So let's start making. For this, we will be needing, and this cocktail is made in straight up method. With ice cubes, we'll put 60 ml of tequila. Then 120 ml of orange juice, and then we'll put so we can see the color of this cocktail, which has got orange over here and some reddish or pinkish type of thing at the bottom. So it gives a look of Tequila Sunrise. It has also got a variance of Tequila Sunset. So the recipe is same. Instead of pouring grenadine, we pour honey. So when you see for this cocktail, we'll garnish. That's your Tequila Sunrise. Cheers. The next cocktail which we are going to make, it is a version of Bloody Mary. As we have already taught that Bloody Mary is made with vodka, tomato juice, WC sauce or Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce which is your Tabasco sauce, lime juice and salt. So instead of vodka, we would be adding tequila. So the ingredients are tequila, lime juice, tomato juice, WC sauce or Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco or hot sauce. It can also be made built. So we will be making it, and for this we will be needing a roly-poly glass. We'll rim the glass. After this, we will take out the extra salt. We'll put some Tabasco, 2 to 3 drops, a dash of WC sauce or wash. 5 to 10 ml of lime juice, half bar spoon of salt, little bit of tomato juice in the beginning so that we can mix all the sauces, lime juice, salt all together. We'll stir it so that the salt gets dissolved. Once the salt gets dissolved, we'll put some ice cubes. We'll pour 120 ml of tomato juice, and 60 ml of tequila. We'll garnish it with a lime slice and olives. Cheers. The next cocktail which we are going to make is called Long Island iced tea. Why it is called Long Island? Water has a transparent color, so we will be making it by all 5 white spirits, which is your tequila, white rum, vodka, gin and cointreau. So these all spirits would be there in the cocktail. Sugar syrup, it will be having ice, but to give a color of tea, Coke or thumbs up, like a cola thing. So let's start making the cocktail. We'll be taking a college glass, fill the glass with ice. We'll pour (15 ml) of gin, (15 ml) of vodka and 15 ml of cointreau. Then 10 ml of lime juice, 10 ml of sugar syrup, and we will top up with Coke. Now as you can see, it has got color of iced tea. We'll put a stir and a straw and garnish it with lemon slice. That's your Long Island iced tea. Cheers. The next cocktail of tequila is the Paloma. It is an Spanish term which means dove. In earlier days, this cocktail was not as famous as other tequila based cocktails because it had that's why. But slowly the taste developed in people, and now it is one of the popular cocktail. For this we will require tequila, lime juice, grapefruit juice and soda. If you have option of grapefruit soda, you can use that. If you have grapefruit soda, then the method of making this cocktail would be straight up or built up. And if you don't have grapefruit soda, then it would be made by shaken and build up method. So first we will shake the ingredients. We'll take an old fashioned glass, we'll take a shaker, put some ice cubes, $60 ml of tequila, $60 ml of grapefruit juice, and if you want to reduce the pungent of grapefruit, then you can add a pinch of salt. And we'll shake it vigorously. Put some ice cubes in the glass. And strain the drink into the glass. We'll top up with soda. And garnish the drink with a lemon wedge. That's a lemon wedge. That's the Paloma. Cheers. The next cocktail which we are going to make is Acapulco. Mexico. This cocktail has tequila, pineapple juice, and a bit of sugar syrup. So let's start making this. It's a shaken cocktail. For this we will require an old fashioned glass or a rock glass. In a shaker, we'll put some ice cubes, ml of tequila, 15 ml of white rum, 60 ml of and 90 ml of pineapple juice. We'll shake all the ingredients vigorously. So that it gets mixed well. We'll put some ice cubes in the glass. And strain the drink in the old-fashioned glass. With a fan. That's your cocktail, Acapulco. Cheers. The next tequila based cocktail is Batanga. It is another variation of Cuba Libre. As you all know, Cuba Libre is a rum based cocktail which has lime juice and cola. In the same way, Batanga is a tequila based cocktail having lime juice and cola. And one more difference is between Batanga and Cuba Libre is that the glass is rimmed with salt. In Batanga, we will rim the glass with salt, and rest the process is the same as we make Cuba Libre by built-up method. Will make the same in Batanga. So for this we will be requiring tequila, lime juice and cola. So let's begin to make the cocktail. We'll take the glass. We'll first rim the glass with salt. We'll pour 60 ml of tequila, then 10 ml of lime juice, and we'll top up the drink with cola. And garnish the drink put a straw that's your Batanga or tequila based cocktail. Cheers. The next cocktail which we are going to make is Ready Fire Aim. This cocktail has got some spiciness, some citrus flavor to it. So the ingredients of this cocktail is tequila, lime juice, pineapple juice, some bitters and grounded pepper and chili flakes. It's spicy with a citrus and sweet flavor. For this, we'll require a margarita glass which will chill it. Everyone. We'll shake all the ingredients vigorously. So that it gets mixed well. We'll put some ice cubes in the glass. And strain the drink in the old-fashioned glass. And we'll garnish the drink with a pineapple slice or fan. That's your cocktail, Acapulco. Cheers. The next tequila based cocktail is Batanga. It is another variation of Cuba Libre. As you all know, Cuba Libre is a rum-based cocktail which has lime juice and cola. In the same way, Batanga is a tequila-based cocktail having lime juice and cola. And one more difference is between Batanga and Cuba Libre is that the glass is rimmed with salt. In Batanga, with salt.
Very good.
Take out the extra salt. Put some ice cubes. Well pour. Ten ml of lime juice. And we'll top up the drink with cola. And garnish the drink with a lemon wedge. Put a straw and stir. That's your Batanga, a tequila based cocktail. Cheers. The next cocktail. This cocktail has got some spiciness, some citrus flavor to it. So the ingredients of this cocktail is tequila, lime juice, pineapple juice, some bitters and grounded pepper and chili flakes. It's spicy with a citrus and sweet flavor. For this, we'll require a margarita glass, which will it is made by shaken method. We'll take a shaker. Take some ice cubes. ml of tequila. 10 ml of lime juice. 60 ml of pineapple juice. And of course, a dash of we'll shake the ingredients vigorously. Till the time we have made the cocktail, the glass is chilled. We'll strain the drink into the glass. garnish it with some black to compensate the spiciness. We can also give a lemon wedge to the cocktail. So that's your ready fire aim cocktail. Cheers. The next cocktail which we are going to make is Ozo Wallbanger. It is a cocktail which has got tequila, Galliano. Galliano is an Italian liqueur which has a flavor of vanilla. Then we have got spiced honey syrup which can be easily made at our home. It has 2.5 cup of water, cinnamon stick and 3 to 4 cloves, and we'll bring it to boil, and after that one spiced honey syrup. So let's begin to make the cocktail. It's a shaken cocktail as it has honey which has got different consistency. Take a shaker, put some ice, 60 ml of tequila, ml of Galliano, and 45 ml of honey, spiced honey syrup. We'll shake well. Champagne fluid glass. We'll strain the drink in the fluid glass. And garnish it with a lime twist. That's your Ozo Wallbanger. Cheers. So the next cocktail which we are going to make is called White Dragon. It is Casa Dragon. Here the tequila, the cocktail was. So for making White Dragon, we need tequila, lime juice, triple sec or cointreau, which is an orange flavored liqueur, and pineapple juice. We can also call it a variation of Margarita with a touch of. For making White Dragon, we'll take a shaker, We'll chill the glass as well. (45 ml of tequila). 15 ml of cointreau. Lime juice. And 60 ml of pineapple. We'll shake the cocktail very well. Till the time we make cocktail, the glass is chilled. We'll strain the cocktail in the glass. And garnish with a pineapple fan. Cheers. The next cocktail is some lime juice, some orange juice, sugar, and then we'll top up with soda. So for making this cocktail, we'll use shaken method. We'll chill the glass. We'll take a shaker. (60 ml of tequila). 10 ml of orange juice, lemon juice. We'll shake the cocktail. Strain the cocktail. We'll top up with soda. And garnish with a lemon slice. That's your tequila daisy. Cheers. The next cocktail is El Diablo. El Diablo is a cocktail which has got tequila, lime juice. Clean the cases. It is a liqueur which is flavored with blackcurrant and ginger beer. First we'll shake all these ingredients and then we'll top up with ginger beer. And for this we require a Collins glass. In a shaker we'll put ice. tequila, (15 ml) of cream the cassis, 5 ml of lemon juice, we'll shake the drink. We'll fill the poly glass with ice. Strain the drink. And then top up with ginger beer. And garnish it with a lemon slice. That's your El Diablo. Cheers. So before ending this session, I would teach you how to serve tequila. It's a traditional way to serve tequila. We take a shot glass, some lime on the rim so that we can cover the rim with some salt. Tequila is always served with salt and lemon. We have rimmed the glass. ml, half of this glass. So 30. Lemon wedges and the cheers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ankit. Thank you all the speaker, trainer, and learners. Thank you everyone for joining the today's session. Hope it was link, and after the feedback, you will receive the certificates. And at the end, let me invite my colleague, Mr. Indranil Bose, for the vote of thanks.
Jai Hind, and thank honor and privilege to have been asked to extend a vote of thanks on this final day of 10-day skill development program on food and beverage service. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making this skill development program a resounding success. Now, first and foremost, I heartily thanks to all the learners and our today for giving us time apart from their busy schedule. We are grateful to our head of institution, Dr. Shiv Mohan Verma, for his valuable guidance, supervision, and kind cooperation in our whole heart. We thank you, sir. In the series of vote of thanks, I would like to acknowledge and extend my deep gratitude to our keynote speakers, Ms. Tatiana, Mr. Digvijay, Mr. Mohit, Mr. Rakesh, Mr. Imran, Mr. Mukesh, Mr. Vimal, Mr. Shashikant, and Mr. Kunal, for your valuable and such an informative deliveries that will definitely help our participants and students. I also take this opportunity to thank all the advisory board members for your continuous support and my hosting this event on different on. I owe special gratitude to the teaching faculty and non-teaching staff of success. I once again thanks to everyone who made this program a huge success. With this, Jai Hind.